whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jello, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
That is the Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen, for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., the destruction of due process in the United States. Please hit that like button when you can get the latest news and events when our book will be released, and that should be soon, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you're with me, the place to be is right here on channel GBoot2786, or if you're watching on the Gavin Richard backup channel, this is Gavin Richard Presents, and we are live for Random Topic Tuesdays. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are, wherever you are blessed, I hope, and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and just go into our two topics, ladies and gentlemen. The first topic that we have here is two Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputies fired and charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of Daniel Vallee. Also, we have Mayor T.D. Cantrell found partying maskless for the mayor's ball, and Ahmaud Arbery's killers found guilty of hate crimes in federal court. Ladies and gentlemen, all this and more tonight on channel GBoo 2786 in Random Topic Tuesdays. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we got to pay some dues, and that is number one, go to our website and purchase some good old Creole seasoning, NawniesCreoleBlends.com. That is NawniesCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawnies goes great with every dish, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget that. The other thing we also have is our music that we do, Video Soul. I want you to go to iTunes. I want you to go to iTunes and buy Video Soul instead of just streaming it on Spotify, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd also like for you to go and look at our theme song, Got to Get On Up, which is our theme song for the night. We play it always. So before we get on down, we got to get on up. Ladies and gentlemen, I see some people in the chat, and I will speak with you shortly.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. What's up, everybody? Got to get on up. Please buy that on iTunes. I'd appreciate it if you do that instead of streaming it on bitch ass Spotify. But anyway, guys, what's up, everybody? Gordon, I'm trying to start this off nice, but I just saw you were assaulted and today and no police helped you. I'm sorry to hear that, brother Gordon. Where are you located and where you from? Email me so I can get some more details. I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, but I hope you are doing okay, man. Regardless of that, you'll be fine. Uh, if you're breathing, you're achieving. But please follow up on that, and email me. I guess for more details. So, good evening, guys. What's up? You're probably wondering, Gavin, how you wearing this dress shirt on Tuesday night? Did you just get off from work? And the answer is yes, I did. I have been in court since 8:00, 8:30 this morning, and I had a trial today. So, in a simple battery case, and thankfully the judge saw it our way and granted us a verdict of not guilty. So, your boy, Team W. So I'm literally just getting out of court. So yeah, a simple battery verdict, a simple battery case that was, shouldn't have gone anywhere, but uh, nevertheless, the judge saw it our way. So I'm happy. It's always good to have a W. And so I went out and got a little dark liquored and Durst as a result of that. So I ate a little bit to celebrate a little bit. Yeah. So I was, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. That felt good. And it said, it's computer robots. Okay. Why do lawyers stress? Because it's a stressful life. I mean, it's a stressful job. It can be, especially if you have multiple clients, and you got to realize if you're in the criminal justice system, you work crimes, you have to prepare for trial. You have to make sure your witnesses are square. That they're know what they're going to talk about, know what to say, prepping for witnesses, prepping for discovery, making sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So it is just a stressful job in general. The difference between lawyers and doctors? Doctors get to bury their mistakes. People don't like suing. Doctors don't like throwing other doctors under the bus, but lawyers will throw lawyers under the bus very quickly. It's just like in a med-mal case. It's very hard to find medical doctors that will testify against other doctors because they don't like to disparage anyone in their profession, and they're very close knit. Lawyers, not so much. You can have situations like that, but you know, it is an extremely stressful job. But I manage it, and you can do it. I obviously did it. The new Johnny Cochran Darius. No, I think of myself as the Gavin Richard. I try not to be no one but me, but Johnny was one of my idols and icons, heroes, I should say. As was his hero was Thurgood Marshall, and Thurgood Marshall's hero was Charles Houston. Y'all should look at, since we talk Black History Month, we're the last leg of Black History Month, February, my birthday month. If y'all want, y'all can still send me money too, since it is my birthday month. That's why I say please donate the Cash App. Police officers, well, I think you already know the answer to that. Computer robot said, what about, come on, man, now you're just being ridiculous, computer robots. What firefighters gonna complain about? Didn't you watch Backdraft? They don't throw each other under the bus, they fight. Watch the movie Backdraft. Kurt Russell and his brother Stephen Baldwin. I appreciate it, Darius. But since it's 10 o'clock, guys, I don't want to be up too late talking about this stuff. But let's go ahead. Let us get into this. I want to talk about, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Now, I got some news to share with you all. I guess I don't have a particular order. What should we start with? Well, I guess we can start with this. This is something to celebrate. Ahmaud Arbery's killers were found guilty of hate crimes. Essentially, three men, the William Roddy Bryan and father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael, were all found guilty of hate crimes in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Essentially, prosecutors were able to prove that the three men targeted Arbery, who tomorrow is coincidentally is the anniversary of Ahmaud Arbery's death, was killed and targeted because of the color of his skin. A jury earlier today, made up of 8 whites, 3 blacks, and 1 Hispanic, convicted the 3 men of violating Arbery's civil rights and targeting him based on race. They were also convicted of attempted kidnapping, and the McMichaels were found guilty of using a firearm during the commission of the crime. Mr. Roddy Bryan was not charged with that because he did not use obviously a firearm at the time. Now, what I want you to pay close attention as I play this video, courtesy of CBS News. I want you to listen to very carefully to what Wanda Jones Cooper, mother of Ahmaud Arbery, says. Okay,
Nora, I remember the first day. All right, guilty. That was the verdict in federal court today, where the 3 white men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery were convicted of hate crimes, killing Arbery simply because of the color of his skin. CBS's Janet Shamlian is at the courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia.
The family of Ahmaud Arbery jubilant outside court today, moments after a jury found the 3 white men who murdered him guilty of targeting the 25-year-old because of the color of his skin. Gregory and Travis McMichael and William Roddy Bryan now face up to life in prison for the federal hate crimes, in addition to the life sentences they received in state court after being convicted of his murder.
What the DOJ did today, they was made to do today. Come on. It wasn't because what they wanted to do. Taxpayers. They were made to do their job today.
Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, angry the Justice Department initially agreed to a plea deal that would have let the McMichaels serve the first part of their sentences in federal custody. The judge took it off the table after the Arbery family objected, saying the conditions in federal prison are safer. Prosecutors described the men as vigilantes, motivated by racial hatred. Defense attorneys suggested they chased Arbery only because they suspected him of a crime. Attorney General Merrick Garland today calling the verdict a victory against hate.
All of us have a moral obligation to combat the hatred and bigotry that motivates those crimes.
Tomorrow will be 2 years since Arbery was killed. Cooper Jones says she's relieved by the verdict, but for a mom, there is no healing.
When are the hardest moments for you, Wanda?
Waking up every morning, knowing that Ahmaud is gone, and he's not going to be here today like he wasn't here yesterday.
Arbery's mom told me it was difficult to sit through a second trial, to see the evidence all over again, and to hear the racist language used by the defendants, but has no regrets, she says, in the pursuit of justice for her son. Nora, I remember the first day we covered this story. Janet Shamlian, thank you.
Okay, so you saw and heard what Ahmaud Arbery mother had to say the DOJ were made to do what they did to do they did today. They were made, forced to do what they did today in trying this case. And that was because the DOJ, if you remember, and this is not Donald Trump's DOJ. Now, Donald Trump has not been in office since January of 2021, January 20th of 2021. Let's just be clear, January 13th rather. And no, January 20th, I had it correct. He has not been president. Joe Biden has been. And Merrick Garland is the head of the Department of Justice. Now, the Business Insider even reported this today, that Garland sidestepped, look what they titled this, okay? The title is Attorney General Merrick Garland wouldn't respond to criticism that the DOJ ignored the family of Ahmaud Arbery. They say here, and I'm going to read part of it. It said that Attorney General Merrick Garland on Tuesday sidestepped criticism of how the Justice Department, handled a hate crimes prosecution against the three men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery, a black man who was chased and gunned down in February 2020 while jogging through a neighborhood outside Brunswick, Georgia. So the guilty verdicts came just weeks after the three men received life sentences in state court on murder convictions, with only Brian having a chance of parole. Ahead of the trial, Arbery's family objected to a plea deal the Justice Department reached with the McMichaels, in part because it would have allowed the father and son to serve the bulk of their sentences in federal prison rather than Georgia's state system. A federal judge ultimately rejected the appeals, paving the way for the trial that resulted in their convictions on hate crime charges. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, was that the DOJ was going to go ahead and push a plea deal, push this deal forward without the family of Ahmaud Arbery approving it. And had they not objected, the judge likely would have accepted it and go forward. But the prosecutors basically ignored what the family of the victim wanted. Think about that. They claim that they talked to the family, and Wanda Cooper Jones said no, they didn't. She said on Tuesday she felt ignored by the Justice Department. And at a press conference Tuesday, the defendants' actions and the racism that fueled them have inflicted enduring trauma on Arbery's family and friends. No one in this country should have to fear the threat of hate-fueled violence. No one should have fear being attacked or threatened because of what they look like, where they're from, whom they love, or how they worship. And no one should fear that if they go out to run, they will be targeted and killed because of the color of their skin. Yeah, motherfucker. Cooper Jones, Mrs. Arbery's mother, said, "Today is Super Tuesday. We got a guilty verdict on all charges for all murderers." She also reiterated that she would never heal, and the convictions marked another milestone, another challenge that we've overcome. Now, Merrick Garland, guys, y'all may not remember this, but Merrick Garland was Barack Obama's pick to be the next Supreme Court justice to replace he was picked as the next Supreme Court appointee by Barack Obama, I believe, to replace who's the judge? Anton Scalia. That's correct. I'm right, because the Supreme Court nominee who passed, I'm just trying to think of the other Supreme Court nominee, not Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but the one who was always the swing vote. It was Anthony Kennedy, because Kennedy has resigned. He's retired. He was always the swing vote in everything. He was the swing vote in the Oberfell versus Hodges decision, which legalized gay marriage. He was a swing vote in United States versus Windsor. He was a swing vote in Roma v. Evans, Lawrence v. Texas. Anything that was gay, he approved. Even abortion, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, he approved that. Now, he was actually succeeded. Brett Kavanaugh was Kennedy's replacement, but Scalia, as you know, was a conservative. But if you remember, Garland was going to be, just imagine, Garland would have been on the Supreme Court of the United States making these cowardly ass decisions. And from what I heard, what Brother Judge Joe Brown has told me and said in the past, Garland's record was not that impressive. So we didn't lose anything with having Garland not on the Supreme Court. Stop supporting these people because you got a black man. Well, you said he good, so I'm gonna roll with that. I trust you. Do some research. Research these people. There's Barack Obama, as Judge Joe Brown would say, Bushy Tang, and that's Garland there. But yeah, he didn't get it. He's AG, and he's been crap. They still talk about this Capitol attack. We're still investigating it. We're still investigating that. But then we're going to let these killers go free. Maximus Royalty, what's up? He says the DOJ, the government, CIA, FBI, police users, and departments, also politicians, have been extreme terrorists against black people in its history, past and present day of 2022. At Darius from Atlanta. Well, the Department of Justice has not, it's like what Richard Pryor would say. When you would go down to court, you would get justice. You would just see just us. That's what that means. That was a Paul Mooney joke that he wrote for Richard Pryor. And what he was saying is that it's just us. We don't get true justice in the system. Well, Judge, I've asked the judge come back on. My schedule's just been tied up since I've been working more. But I actually spoke with him yesterday, so he said he's going to come back. So we're going to have a show. I know he does. He's busy doing his show with Dana, and he has a show on Fridays. But you need him to come back so he can give some type of rulings and brutality on the decisions and pains that are going on in this country. Because we got to show evidence that masculinity is still alive and must thrive. Boomerang, Baramatang, Obama. Bucci Cat? Bucci Cat? Really? Bucci Cat Barry. I call him Obama Tane. His Barack Obama, his father, his stepfather, was one of the richest men alive, Lolo Sotero. Barry Sotero was his real name. His sister runs a trust fund. When he goes out, he snorts up cocaine and takes some up the behind, son. I know all of this stuff because I had the evidence. I seen the photos with Lolo Sotero golfing buddies with George W. Herbert Walker Bush. He gets that Bucci. He doesn't go for the coochie. He goes for the Bucci. That's something Judge would say. I had me two of them, son. I had me two coochies. Two coochies, and his name was Susan, and her name was Susan Lucci and Mrs. Gucci. What if Judge Joe Brown was a sex phone operator? You mean to tell me You would raise one leg up over your head and the other leg, well, I lick your I lick it up and down all around like these groupies did with Dr. Cosby at the Playboy Mansion in 1965, 67. I was at UCLA. I knew all of them hoes. I've got hoes with Judge Joe Brown as a rapper. How about doing Ludacris? I got hoes. I got hoes in different area codes, son. Area codes, whatever it is, they love me. 212-1213, right under my robe. It's perfect. It fits the judiciary. Let me stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But what do y'all think? Was justice served for Ahmaud Arbery and his family? I believe it was. My condolences, though, to Mrs. Wanda Cooper Jones and even uh, to Ahmaud Arbery's father. Ahmaud Arbery's father, Marcus Arbery. I just want to say my condolences to them. I'm happy, although their son will never come back. I am satisfied that they were able to get some type of justice, at least out of this, and that these men will likely spend the rest of their lives behind bars. I don't even see them being successful on appeal because it didn't seem like there were any errors in the trial that I know of, unless they find some new evidence that wasn't disclosed, but I don't see that happening. So, Ahmaud Arbery, rest in power, brother. Okay. So next we have this. So this happened. The breaking news: 2 Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputies were fired and charged with the manslaughter, in the death of Daniel Vallee. Now, those of you from outside of my area, now this is in my hometown of New Orleans. Jefferson Parish is a suburb out in Jefferson. So this happened across the river, I believe, according to my sources, this was in West Wego. Or in Marrero, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, Marrero. And so 2 officers by the names of Isaac Hughes and Jonathan Lewis, 29 and 35 years old respectively, were fired and charged with manslaughter in the killing of Daniel Vallee on February 16th. Outside what LaPinto described, now listen to LaPinto, he described as a crack house in the 500 block of Wilson Street in Marrero. Now, I want you to pay close attention to LaPinto, this press conference. Now, I have talked in the past about JP, Jefferson Parish, and I've practiced law out there. And let me just say this, just as my experiences as a kid, growing up as a young black man, the stuff I knew, Jefferson Parish has always had a problem with racism in general. I've had, issues with them, not from my job or anything like that, but just as a kid, what I knew from Harry Lee being the sheriff, the tactics that he had. If you're from New Orleans, I know DeAndre Mosley, who's always in here. He's probably not watching today. We know the shit that he gets down with. He knows about Harry Lee, I'm sure. But I want to play this video. Listen to what LaPinto has to say, okay?
Yeah, we want to get back to our top story involving a deputy-involved shooting in Jefferson Parish last week. Jefferson Parish Sheriff Joe Pinto speaking now at a news conference. Let's listen in.
We're arresting Isaac Hughes and Jonathan Lewis, 2 of our members that were involved in the deputy-involved shooting from last week. I want to give you some of the scenario of what occurred last week. Around 2:15 a.m. on the 16th, our officers were dispatched to the 500 block of Wilson Street in Marrero. Upon their arrival, they were encountering a gentleman in front of a known crack house. They were there for the sole reason to really investigate a noise complaint from the next door neighbor. Unfortunately, this neighbor has been threatened by this group of individuals from a crack house for years to come, and she was being disturbed at that point in time. Mr. Daniel Vallee was in a vehicle in front of that location. Mr. Vallee was in a vehicle that had a switch plate. Unbeknownst to my officers at that time, was also wanted for questioning in reference to some thefts out of Plaquemines Parish and also in reference to an overdose investigation out of Gretna. He refused to cooperate with our officers, refused to cooperate with them for over 12 minutes. Our deputies on the scene, which included 5 total officers, were on scene. Not only did they ask him to get out of the vehicle so they could investigate the crimes that were there, plus the additional crimes that were happening or that he was investigating for, they asked him, they begged him, they threatened him, trying to get him to come out. He refused to cooperate during that period of time. The vehicle was running at one point in time, which he actually turned the vehicle off and locked the vehicle doors. Kept putting his hands up, but would not cooperate and would not come outside the vehicle. After this going on for almost 12 minutes or so, Mr. Vallee decided to start the vehicle back up. That, of course, escalated the situation. Numerous of my deputies drew their weapons at that point in time, expecting them to try to take off. They begged for him to turn the vehicle off, to not put the vehicle in drive, to not put them in the situation. I can tell you, I believe without a doubt, they believed he was going to drive off at that point in time. Had one officer that was positioned directly in front of the vehicle, and another one that was positioned just off to the side in front of the vehicle also. At one point in time, Mr. Vallee drops his hands. When he drops his hands, he actually hits the horn on the vehicle. In my opinion, that horn, whether it scares my deputy or whether my deputy reacts to the shot of the horn, ends up firing his weapon. That in turn, the second deputy fired his weapons, reacting to that gunfire. I had both.
Okay. So firing the horn is what caused the deputies to shoot back. Y'all understand that? Now, I'm going to finish the rest of the video. I'm not going to interrupt, but just listen carefully again to what he says.
Those deputies fired those gunshots in reaction to that. They both cooperated. We interviewed the non-shooters the day after that interview, waited for the autopsy to be conducted the following day, and then interviewed the other shooters on Thursday. We're going back and forth through that. I can tell you their perception was that their life was in danger at that point in time. Unfortunately, the use of force in this situation was not justified. As much as I would love to be able to defend them, I don't believe there was any criminal intent at this point in time. We've had numerous discussions with our office, with our investigators, in order to try to figure out what is the appropriate charge. Let's face it, there's 4 things that could have happened today. Could have been a second-degree murder, a manslaughter, a negligent homicide, or a justified homicide. And we weighed them all out. And to be honest with you, I can make arguments for all 4. Our investigators really looked at the evidence that existed. None of them lied in their investigation. They came in, told the truth. The body cam video actually backed up what their statements were. It wasn't a situation where it was a gotcha moment. They came in and said what happened. Unfortunately, we just can't utilize the actions that they did and justify the use of deadly force. I think force was certainly justified. And unfortunately, this gentleman, Daniel Vallee, put them in a huge, highly stressful situation where bad things can happen. And that's what happened in this case.
Does this make any sense? Does this make any sense what Sheriff LaPinto is saying? He's backing the sheriff. He's saying we can't justify their actions, but we understand what they did. Wink, wink. I'm gonna finish the video, but I got something else to show you right after that. So he's saying they didn't. He's even saying I listened to his press conference earlier. He's saying they didn't commit any crime. It wasn't really any crime that they committed. Fuck, it's manslaughter. It is a crime. It's in the criminal code. Although it can be a responsive verdict, especially if you, as a defense attorney, and let me just clarify, I'm not providing this legal advice. This is just my opinion and my opinion alone. It doesn't create a legal relationship or attorney-client relationship. But attorneys will, if you have a first-degree man charge, second-degree murder charge, or first-degree, you can get what's called a responsive verdict, and that they will consider your client. They can find your client guilty of manslaughter, which means manslaughter occurs when there is significant provocation, sort of a heat of the moment, as we say. For instance, you come in from work late and you find your wife is getting her cheeks clapped by Leroy. Her cheeks are getting clapped by the dude that cuts grass in the neighborhood. And you end up shooting and killing Leroy and your wife. Adultery technically can be seen, well, it is legally seen as a heat of the moment thing. That would provoke you. But you still are liable because you took the life of a person. And women don't feel like I'm being sexist. I would say the same thing if you found your husband home and he was messing with your sister. You would be liable too. You would go to jail too. So equal treatment. Maybe not equal sentences, but equal treatment. So let's finish playing this because this is babble. Now,
we presented a manslaughter warrant to the commissioner tonight for both of our officers, which was signed earlier today. Both of the officers turned themselves in to the investigation bureau and being booked accordingly in the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center. They'll obviously have to defend the charge, and truthfully, as their defense, there is a defense here. We just believe that the level of force that was used justified the probable cause that existed in this case, and our detectives really did a good job of delving into those facts.
There's a defense here. Aren't you a police officer? Now, Joe Lopinto, I believe, Lopinto used to be he's an attorney. But you got to pick one, Joe. I believe there's a defense here. Oh. He's a lawyer. I don't know if he practiced criminal. I'm sure he practiced criminal defense because otherwise he wouldn't be an attorney. He's a police officer. I'm sure he knows about crime. He knows about crimes and stuff. So, but you're stating a defense
and making it happen.
And you're the sheriff.
I'll take any questions. It's going to be in a release that we'll get to you in a minute, but it's Jonathan Lewis and Isaac Hughes. No, Vallee was not armed, and that was never the testimony. He was obviously armed with the vehicle, but the vehicle never made it to drive. I think the dropping of his hands when they couldn't see it, in connection with blowing the horn at someone that was standing 5 feet in front of you at the time, caused a reaction that occurred. But being armed was never the I mean, obviously it was a potential threat, but it was never a threat that was observed. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure my investigators know that answer, but I don't. I mean, each one of them shot multiple times. I'm disappointed. I mean, it's disappointed on both sides, right? The fact of it is, being a former policeman, I know that they have a very tough job to do. This is certainly not intentional. It's not a criminal act, and I think that's why second-degree murder certainly wasn't the case. Mr. Vallee had every opportunity to comply, to cooperate. He's been in and out of jail. The system, is not perfect by any means. The force, was something that was, there was force that was certainly justified at this moment, but it wasn't deadly force. And it's something that, you know, it's never fun to put one of my
What? He's dead. It wasn't deadly force. I can't do this. I'm going to stop the video. I'm sorry. I can't.
Wednesday in Marrero.
No, I'm going to let it go. Wait, I'm going to let it go.
And it's something that, you know, he's been in and out of jail. The system, you know, is not perfect by any means. The force, you know, was something that was, there was force that was certainly justified at this moment, but it wasn't deadly force. And it's something that, you know, it's never fun to put one of my deputies in jail. I've had to do it before, and I probably will have to do it again. But you know, the remorse exists, right? You know, and it's whether or not probable cause exists. In this case, we felt the probable cause did exist. It's never something that I want to do. It's certainly not what I want to do at, you know, 9 o'clock at night here in front of the investigation bureau. As I said before, you know, we've worked very hard over the past week and over the weekend to make sure we get this right. And, you know, I'm proud of my detectives for doing the work that we do. And look, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office does a lot of good work out there. They're out there trying to make us safe every single day. This is an extremely unfortunate situation for all of them, you know, for the wife and kids of my deputies, and certainly the Vallee family that lost a loved one also. It doesn't take that pain away, no matter what it is. I think this fault that you can blame everybody, but we still have to be responsible for our actions. It's a criminal investigation. No, I mean, it will be released, certainly, right? I mean, you know, with any type of criminal investigation, once the criminal investigation is complete, whether that's, you know, turned over to the defense in this case.
And we've been listening to Jefferson Parish Sheriff Joseph LaPinto speaking on the fact of the deputy-involved shooting last week involving Daniel Vallee in Marrero. This happened last Wednesday in Marrero. The sheriff talking tonight saying certainly not intentional, but use of force by his deputies, the level of the force they used was not justified. And he says that the body camera backed up what the officers told them. And now you have two officers or two deputies that have not justified the use of force in this case.
Manslaughter warrants out for both of those officers who turned themselves into police. In the meantime, we'll continue to follow that story.
Now, Isaac Hughes and Jonathan Lewis, their mugshots were released, ladies and gentlemen. And here is their mugshots right now. Of course, Darius, they were black. They were, you really think they were going to let some white boys who shoot in Jefferson Parish, white deputies actually face murder charges, manslaughter charges? It would have to be real bad if it was one of their own. Yeah. That's what happened actually, you know, in Marksville, where they had two black state police troopers that shot a man who was driving a car. He had a 6-year-old autistic boy inside the car, and they shot up the car because he wasn't listening to their orders and was driving. And I believe, you know, he came and charged at them, if I'm not mistaken, and they feared for their life. Well, they got sentenced to on manslaughter charges, both of them. And I believe one was supposed to do one was supposed to serve 7 years in prison. I saw back in 2019 he got released. It was Norris Greenhouse Jr. and Derek Stanford. I'm sorry, I said state police. They were Marksville deputy marshals. I apologize. Stafford was convicted of manslaughter and is currently serving a 40-year prison sentence. So that was a separate case, but I remember that because Jonathan Goins, and I know Jonathan. Jonathan Goins was one of the lawyers on that case. Him and a buddy of mine, Chris LaCour, they were both the attorneys that were working that case. So we're going to continue monitoring what happens with this, of course. But these two Jefferson Parish deputies fired in charge of killing Daniel Vallee. You saw his picture. Vallee was a white, looked like he was Hispanic. And just to clarify, Stafford was moonlighting as a Marksville deputy marshal, and in that matter, and he was convicted of attempted manslaughter. This is the case I was talking to you about in Marksville. It was like a 2-mile car chase back in 2015. And yeah, this was a big case. Yeah, the big case that was out there. I'd have to talk to you about it. I might have to have Jonathan, if he could, come on one day. I'll ask him to talk about this case. I'm sorry, I'm just looking this up. But there was a little white boy who's autistic that thing was involved with. And y'all just look this up here. But this was in, of course, Violates Parish. And we talked about this with the Vincent Simmons matter. And that decision was came out in 2017. So I'm going to put the article in the chat for everybody to look at. You remember that case? Thank you, Darius. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Subscribe to @Commonwealth Cause. That's the book for our book on Bill Cosby. I still have the video that's coming for that review soon, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, you're right about that, Darius. And we're going to go into our final topic in a second, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that was a very interesting case. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, of course, is about our beloved mayor of New Orleans, T.D. Cantrell. Mayor T.D. Cantrell. She was found. Yeah, let me put this in context. It is carnival time, ladies and gentlemen, here in New Orleans, or Nolans, as some of y'all think we say. Nolans, you hear some of us say that too. But in New Orleans, it is carnival time. And this week, of course, we've started our parades and festivals, but we are still in the age of the pandemic and COVID-19. And our mayor, like many other mayors across the city, has put mandates in, especially in indoor facilities, where you have to wear your mask. Now, someone showed a picture that went viral that showed the mayor was maskless at her own ball, mayor's ball, out here at Gallia Hall. And as you can see, these videos were taken by a 360-degree photo booth and showed Mayor Cantrell singing karaoke, maskless, with 2 other maskless women. Now, masks can be removed under the city guidelines when eating or drinking, city spokesman Bo Titwell said in a statement. While we do not see perfect adoption of the guidelines in every instance over the weekend, we were encouraged overall by the level of masking and vigilance we saw on the parade route and at ball events. New Orleans CAO Gilbert Montano attended the ball and responded at a press conference on Monday saying, "I absolutely don't disagree that it's an important mandate that we are trying to move forward, but the fact that there was also a vaccine checkpoint and food on everyone of the floors as well as drink does speak to maybe some of those photos," he said. And frankly, some of the pictures you see, it's hard to smile with your mask on, but I don't want it to seem like the mayor doesn't have it as a priority. Now, what is going on is that there are plaintiffs, just like in different states, where there are filing lawsuits to end the mandates that the mayor has put in place, and suing Mayor Cantrell, the New Orleans Health Department, and that agency's leader, Dr. Jennifer Avegno, accusing them of violating their constitutional rights with restrictions the officials say have curbed the spread of coronavirus and the COVID-19 disease. Now, I'm going to play a video of this here, but before I do, I want to read this statement from Laura Canizero Rodriguez, who gave a statement to Fox News saying, "We are happy to see the people of New Orleans finally able to return to normal and enjoy the Mardi Gras season. That is exactly what we have been advocating for. We are furious to see our so-called city leaders violating their own mask mandate all through the carnival season while demanding that ordinary citizens and children remain masked. The hypocrisy and privilege will no longer be tolerated. The silence from our state legislature is deafening. We see you and we are coming for you." So let's play the video, shall we?
And videos emerge over the weekend showing New Orleans Mayor Cantrell and guests partying with no masks during the mayor's ball at Gallier Hall Friday night.
And that's despite the recently reinstated indoor mask mandate. Caitlin Rust is in our newsroom with more on her office's response. Caitlin.
100 short videos taken at the ball were posted online before being deleted this morning.
The videos taken by a 360-degree photo booth showed Cantrell singing karaoke maskless with two other women, also without masks. No other guests in any of the videos were wearing their masks, despite the indoor mask mandate being in place until after March 1st. In a statement, city spokesperson Bo Tidwell said the mask guidelines and the vaccination requirement will remain in effect through Mardi Gras. That has not changed and will not change. He added, while we did not see perfect adoption of the guidelines in every instance over the weekend, we were encouraged overall by the level of masking and vigilance we saw on the parade route and at ball events. CAO Gilbert Montano attended the ball and also responded today.
I absolutely don't disagree that it's an important mandate that we're trying to move forward, but the fact that there was also a checkpoint where you were vaccinated or not vaccinated and food on every one of the floors along with drink does speak to maybe some of those photos that I've seen running around the internet now relative to that. And frankly, some of the pictures that you see, it's hard to smile with your mask on, but I don't want that to seem like the mayor doesn't have it as a priority.
This comes as the Louisiana Supreme Court denied requests for a temporary restraining order and an expedited hearing on a lawsuit challenging Cantrell's mask and vaccine mandate. Shelley?
All right, Caitlin, thanks so much.
And videos emerged
Despite the reason
during the mayor's
online. Caitlin, two other women, any person, both lines in a statement, city, despite any of the video photo booths showed Cantrell singing karaoke maskless with two other women, were posted online before being deleted.
Go ahead, Titi. Go ahead, Titi. Hey, man. She living her best life. Yeah. It's Mardi Gras season. It's carnival time. Everybody's having fun. The queen room is smoking and the fire balling down. Throw my baby out the window, let them burn them down. Oh, because it's carnival time. Yeah, it's carnival time. So here's a problem and issue, I guess, I think a lot of people have had with many of these politicians and leaders is that they want you to live by their mandates and their rules, but yet they are not willing to do the same for themselves when it applies to them. Now, my father has said this publicly. He told me that he thinks that Mardi Gras should be canceled because how can we have a Mardi Gras and we still have not eradicated the COVID-19 virus, or at least not controlled it? Well, of course, the city cannot afford not to have Mardi Gras or any other event because it relies heavily on its tourism. And so, that's the type of city New Orleans is. We are a tourist city. We make money on tourists coming down here. So they can't afford and know they won't afford if anything else is closed and locked down. Businesses would not survive. So that's the main reason, only reason we're going along with this carnival. But the rules have to be applied equally. And look, if you're gonna have a party or a ball, and you're a public figure. Meanwhile, you're reinstating events, but still putting restrictions on. How does that look to the public when you, as the leader, are not doing or practicing what you preach? This is the same, almost similar to what happened with Nancy Pelosi when the lockdown was coming on, and she's going into out in California to get her hair done without a mask. Same thing with your AOC. She's down in Miami at some gay pride festival with Billy Porter and others, and she contracts COVID. No, it's not going anywhere, but to control the curve of it, Darius, that's the thing. That's the main issue. You're trying to talk about curtailing things and following rules, and a lot of people see this and they don't like it. And believe me, and this is one of the reasons why 2021 ended up being so bad with the Democrats, because they talk down, and even Van Jones says this, they come off as condescending and annoying. They tell people what to do, but yet they don't do it for themselves. So, TD ain't giving a damn about y'all. She got reelected. This is her last term, and I'm glad to see everybody partying while your windows are being smashed by criminals. We have a big crime problem going on in this city that's not being resolved. Our chief of police has been a joke. Yeah, she went there. She's she's a Democrat, so she went down there with Billy Porter when they had some type of event and was part of all of that. I don't know about her being Boochie Cat, but she is team. She's not necessarily playing for the team, but she's had some, let's just say, some history with the team. She works in the front office. Well, what say you, ladies and gentlemen? What do y'all think of this and what's going on with this? I think in general, this may not hurt Cantrell, but it will hurt the Democrats. It's just one of a legion of things of what's going to be hurting the Democratic Party, because they put these mandates, and yet they have not practiced what they preach and doing them themselves. Now, I don't have too much further to say, but that's the last of our topics. But I hope you guys, please, I can't stress this enough, donate to the Cash App, Google Pay, and PayPal. Our channel's not monetized. Before we go, no, she got reelected already. She's partying because it's Mardi Gras. She got reelected already, so she's not going anywhere. It's carnival time, computer robots. Y'all didn't hear this? It's carnival time. Everybody's having fun. Hold on. I gotta play my. I'm gonna get copyright strikes, but here's some Mardi Gras music. Hold on. Say yeah, Tina ain't got no rhythm and blues. She don't care about you. I'm getting copyright strikes for sure. So anyway, guys, yeah, I saw that. I don't know too much about it. I hadn't seen the video, but I saw what you sent. Oh well, it's just like Rachel Dolezal, but they want to be black. They want to be like Paul Mooney said. Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't want to be a nigga. It's like Rachel Dolezal. She's white. She knows she's white. She wants to be black, but hey, I'd pick her over Candace Owens any day. So live your best life, TD. Honda Wanda, Mamba. It's carnival time. Next time, just have a bottle of Crown Royal in your hand, then we can believe you're drinking. You just singing karaoke. They're trying to get a reparations check. Yeah. They should say they're LGBTQ. They probably have a better chance of getting it then than saying they're one of us. Karma has come to collect on her. So that's all I want to say. Oh, before I leave, did y'all see this? This I had to see. I gotta play this. Hold on. This happened earlier. I didn't want to talk about it. I did want to talk about it. Where earlier this weekend, what happened with Juan Howard? He is the coach for now of Michigan basketball team. And did y'all see what happened? This is the post. So his team was getting blown out, and apparently the coach for Wisconsin took a timeout at the end of the fourth quarter instead of letting the game just end. So they were getting blown out. He didn't like what the Wisconsin coach did, and he wouldn't even come out and shake hands with the guy. Y'all hear? Now Howard, now watch this. Now I just noticed this, but Howard was walking past him. The guy stops him, grabs him. The coach grabs him to talk to him. And Howard grabs his shirt, points his finger. Hey man, what did you do with that fucking timeout? Y'all were kicking my ass, man. Why you had to do that, man? Y'all kicking our ass, man. Now watch listen to the announcer. He looks like listen to the announcer. The announcer sounds like he called some boxing fights. I don't know why it's low. That's the setting that they have it on here. Hold on, let's see if I can play it here. Don't fucking touch me.
And I think the assistant grabbed Juan, and Juan swung back. And the coach for the Wisconsin is Rick Jaw. Rick Jaw. Rick Jaw.
Hey, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. Hey, we're singing varsity. We're singing varsity.
What's he bugging? Watch, wait, listen to it. Oh, wait. I'm gonna see if I can buy commentary. Now look. Hey, what? Let me say hello. No, man, go. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. Hello, man. Don't fucking touch me, all right? You shouldn't have took that fucking time out. You know how sensitive we are about these damn timeouts. We Michigan, man. We Michigan. Why you call it a goddamn timeout? Why you call it timeout, huh? Why you call it timeout? Why you call it timeout, huh? What do you think you're doing? What you doing? Who are you? Nobody. Yeah. Yeah. Why you take that time out? You know, this is why, so now, of course, they suspended Juan for 5 games. And of course, all on the media, they were just tearing this man up. So, but they didn't talk about, I'm wondering if Tariq Nasheed talked about it on his Twitter page, if he had something to say, because I know he'll find something usually on this. But I saw, just from what I looked at, the guy putting his hands on Juan, I guess, to stop him. And they've been apparently telling they've been saying, oh, he should be suspended and he should lose this. Okay, so Tariq doesn't have it on here. I just thought maybe, because I'm always interested in what he has to say. You know, I respect him. So he's suspended for the rest of the season, 5 games. And just looking at it, somebody said if Ron Howard was going to punch anyone over a timeout, it should have been Chris Webber. Man, they're allergic to timeouts. Yeah, it's a big nothing burger. I mean, look, you have children that are there. Well, I shouldn't say children, but young men, college students, and you have to represent yourself in a positive manner. I get that. Do I think should he never coach again? Should he lose his job? I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. But, notice they didn't, I mean, the guy did grab him. If he didn't want to talk to the coach, he didn't have to. He was walking back to the locker room and had nothing to say to him. And he said that the guy grabbed his arm. Now, of course, he was made, I think, and forced to apologize. And they had a press conference afterwards where he tried to explain everything. Guard said something, and so did yeah. But that shit was fun. I laughing my butt off. Joe Krabanoff was the assistant that he hit. So this is what Juan Howard had. Let me play what Juan had to say, and I'm going to play what Guard had to say. But you got to keep your cool in these situations, especially when you're a black male and you work at these universities. You do anything, you know that anything out of line, they're going to scrutinize you. You got to keep your emotions in check.
Oh yes, I was.
Oh, yes, I was.
You know,
Were you upset with the game got extended?
oh yes,
Oh,
I
yes,
was.
I was.
You know, I didn't like my timeout being called, and I'll be totally honest with you. I thought it was, not necessary at that moment, especially being a large lead. And then for having timeout, we called 3 seconds, 4 seconds ago. You know, I thought that was, what I felt wasn't fair to our guys. And so that's what happened.
Just a follow-up, when you wanted the game to get done, why keep the press on against Wisconsin backups at that point?
Oh, it wasn't press. It was just 5 pressure defense, man to man. That's what 5 is for us.
We got one. John, you're straight in front of you. What happens between being upset about a timeout being called and raising it to the point where it looked like you hit another coach in the face? What kind of happens in between to make that happen?
Well, basically, I addressed with the head coach that I will remember that because of that timeout, and for someone to touch me, and I think that was very uncalled for him to touch me as we were verbalizing and communicating with one another. So that's what ended up happening. That's what escalated.
Yeah, I guess if you could, expand on that a little more. What?
No, I'm not expanding on it. I just share with you the story. What happened?
Well, as far as touching, I mean, obviously, there's obvious touching in the handshake line. There must have been more than that.
Oh, yeah, it was more than that. Yeah. Touching me unnecessary wasn't cause for that when we were talking. And at that point, I thought that was, time to protect myself.
Was there anything earlier in the game besides the timeout I could see you?
Oh no. Wisconsin did a really good job in the second half, making adjustments on defense. Give credit to their staff, give credit to the players. Like we talked about before, we came out in the second half with a run.
Okay, so he was upset. Now this is what Guard had to say. Let's play what Guard had to say. Hold on.
So we only have 4 seconds to get the ball across half court. Okay, the official comes over to me and says, Greg, if you take a timeout, you'll get a full 10 seconds. There was 15 seconds on the game clock left. Okay, I had all the reserves in. I was not going to put them in a position when the ball had already got knocked out of bounds to have to break a press in 4 seconds when they're coming cold off the bench. So I took a timeout, which I'm allowed to do, obviously, and brought them over and tried to get them organized. They haven't all been on the floor in pressure situations before, and I want to give them the best chance to have success coming up the floor and tell them we're not going to shoot the ball. All we're doing is getting the ball, break the pressure, come up, and we'll dribble out the clock. So we got the full 10 seconds to break that press instead of 4 seconds. So we were on the spot, we got organized, and that is the situation that he apparently was upset with. As I was walking through it, I know he didn't come through right away. He came in later after some of the players and was going down the line with everybody, and they were all fine. And he came up to me and pulled his max down and said, I'll remember that. And he started pointing at me and tapped me in the chest. And I said, hold on. Let me explain to you why I took the timeout. Maybe he doesn't know the rule that you get the 10 seconds reset. I wasn't going to put my players in that type of situation to have to break up press in 4 seconds, coming stiff and cold off the bench. I wouldn't do that for a regular group. I can take a timeout. That's it gives my players the best chance to have success. So that's where it started, that he said, I'll remember that. And I said, hey, let me tell you why I did what I did. And he didn't want any part of it and kept moving on. So that's unfortunately, like I said, it overshadowed momentarily. I'm not going to let it overshadow it much longer than once I walk out of
Now,
here.
you notice he didn't mention the fact that he grabbed him first. He didn't mention that part, but not that they would. Hey, don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm don't like timeout. Don't ever call a timeout if you're Michigan. Chris Webber's timeout. Remember the Fab Five? Juan was a Fab Five member, so he's gonna remember that. Yeah, he just like he remember Chris Webber. He remembers Chris Webber. Oh God, yeah, that was bad. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, by the way, did you know that Sheriff Jack Strain now? I practice out in St. Tammany, but yeah, I haven't seen him. But Juan apologized. But y'all know I was talking about Jack Strain, who got sentenced to, who got convicted a few months ago, back in December, of molestation. Well, he was sentenced to four life sentences and 30 years additionally in jail. So he will die in prison more than likely. I was just looking at that. I was at court today. Yeah, I'll just share this right quick. Yeah, Jack Strain. Hold on. That was a huge case that was going on. Okay, he did rape and incest. I said molestation. So he's sentenced to life behind bars for sex crimes against boys. And this is the man who said he didn't want nobody in his city that had chiwi hair. Judge Bruce Simpson formally sentenced the 59-year-old to life in prison with life in prison for sex crimes against boys. Life without parole. Rape, if it's against boys, it's incest.
Former Sheriff Jack Strain was back in the
St.
St. Tammany Parish Courthouse Tuesday morning, but this time in an orange jumpsuit and shackles. Several of the victims were here as well to share their victim impact statements. That's the victim's opportunity to share how the offenses affect them before Strain was sentenced to life.
He will never hurt no other child. And that's one thing I prayed for, that he would never get out. Because what he put my son through, I don't want no mother to go through this.
Patricia Finn is ready for a new chapter in her son's life. Mark Finn, who has been in and out of prison for more than 2 decades, blames Jack Strain for his anger and alcohol and drug use. Strain was found guilty of raping and molesting Finn as early as 6 years old.
This is what when he was 6 years old.
During his victim's impact statement Tuesday, Finn called Strain a predator, a monster, and a pervert, saying, "Today I feel like a hero for stepping forward first." He turned to Jack Strain saying, "Are you sorry? If you are sorry, I will forgive you." Jack Strain did not respond.
He kept on looking at me and smiling, and you know, I'm not gonna be his level.
Following another rape victim said, "You didn't just damage my body, you severely damaged my mind." The judge sentenced Jack Strain to 4 life sentences without parole for the aggravated rape charges, plus an additional 30 years for the aggravated incest and decent behavior of a juvenile and sexual battery charges. He was also fined $30,000 and has agreed to pay nearly $28,000 for prosecution costs.
He got exactly what he deserved.
Finn said during his victim impact statement, he now feels ready to rebuild his life.
But he don't have to face anymore. He can get help, and I know he will.
After Strain's sentencing Tuesday, Strain's attorney, Billy Gibbons, said an appeal will be filed. In Covington, Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News.
Someone started shooting in the Ninth Ward, and now a child is the latest victim of the violence. tearing through New Orleans.
Yeah, police rushed out to Lizardi Street. This is near St. Claude just before 9 o'clock tonight. Mike McDaniel is there for us live right now. Mike, what do we know so far?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on here, and we don't have a whole lot of information right now other than knowing that a boy was shot at least once. Most of the police activity is happening at this home behind me here on Lizardi Street. According to police, it all happened at about 8:40 here in the third. This is the police got here, they got suffering into the hospital. They are in a residential area. We're surrounded by houses. We're surrounded by houses, but most everyone is inside right now. A neighbor though who did want to go on camera, but was outside a little earlier, told me earlier they heard the shots, but they were inside the house whenever this happened. There are several police units on the scene. We've seen officers go in and out of the home here in Lizardi, and some folks hanging around in the yard, just kind of officers kind of walking around the perimeter. So one boy we know was shot, taken to the hospital. Do not have an update on his condition at this point. Police behind me trying to figure out the pieces to this. If you know anything about the shooting, police are asking you to give them a call. Live from the Lower Ninth, Mike McDaniel, Eyewitness News.
Sorry to hear that about the kid. Yeah, well, I mean, it's standard. They can file an appeal. They preserve it for the record, obviously. They'll file a notice of appeal after they have exhausted motions for a new trial, motions to reconsider. And that's just for the record. But you have to have grounds of the notice of appeal, too. So, yeah, but yeah, that was nasty. But anyway, guys, let me get on out of here. If you like, again, please support our channel. Donate to the Zelle. That's always great. To the Cash App. Also go to our Facebook page, subscribe to get the latest information on when our book will be released called The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. Also, if you would like donate, please check out Video Soul. It's our latest on Amazon and Apple. And of course, got to get on up on Spotify, Apple, and iTunes. But I prefer if you buy it on Apple and not stream it on iTunes. And I want to thank you, Ahmaud. I believe you bought some Nani's Creole seasoning tonight, bought some bottles. So I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It's always good if you buy some Nani's Creole seasoning. So, ladies and gentlemen, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nani's goes great with every dish. But feel the groove. Get on the floor. It is time to get on up. Thank you, Darius. Thank you, Jade, Vulcan 205, and DeAndre. Nani's is great. Thank you. I'm trying to get the thing in stores. That's the main thing we got to push for. So, y'all, if you know anybody, if we know any black, this is what I want. If there are any black-owned grocery stores in your area, give me their number. You have my email address. Give me their phone numbers so I could reach out to them and get the product in stores. That would be great. That'd be a way to help me. So anyway, guys, you all be safe, be blessed. I'll be back Thursday with the one and only Sean James as we take a critical examination of the situations of why we have so many beta males. Now, before I get into that, let me go ahead and find your Apple and iTunes store so that we can play the Gotta Get On Up. That is the theme song for the show today. And when I take a critical examination of Gavin Reshaw's Gotta Get On Up, I must say it really has my big butt bouncing. So I really appreciate it. I like to get on up and dance with my action figures like your Joker Joe and your Batman. And also I like to dance with my old lady if I have one, which of course I do. And she's not just any, she is not called ISIS. Wink, wink. Now, let us play, some Gotta Get On Up as we get on out and boogie towards Hump Day. I'll holla, peace and love. And when I take a critical examination of peace and love, I must ask, what is peace? Is peace a good thing, or is it something created by your beta males who want to get along with the passive-aggressive sociopaths that is feminism? But we will discuss that on Thursday. That's all I have to say for this video. Now we can comment, link, and subscribe while I press play.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll move. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.